multitasking is a thing that people they have pride in saying that they're a multitasker, but realistically, a lot of times when I go out and I meet with people, I get asked the question, do I do websites, right? And I always say no, I don't do websites, because there's a difference between a web developer and a marketing person. And I'm in the marketing side of things, where I want to help you come up with ways to communicate your products and the way to communicate your brands, the way to show people what you have to offer. Now, your website is a place that all of that information does land, but a web developer and a marketer are two different people. Now, some people have the skill to do both, but I'd argue this, right? If I was a web developer, wouldn't it be better if I was just a web developer? Wouldn't it be better if I was focused 100% on making sure that my clients' websites were working efficiently all the time and everything else? So imagine a web developer. I know these people are out there, so I might get some backlash for this video, but imagine a web developer having to go out to a client to shoot content. Well, what happens when another client has a problem with their website? Nowhere near a computer to do that. I mean, you could carry a laptop with you. Somebody's out there doing it. I understand that. But when you do more than one thing, the other thing does have to sit on the sideline, right? I like to say I focus on your organic content. I'm focused on making your organic content better than everybody else's, and that's my focus. I'm not necessarily here editing websites. Now, don't get me wrong, if you have a very simple website platform you're on, and I'm not gonna name any names for sake of just not, I don't wanna put myself in a box here, but you understand what I'm saying. There's some platforms where it's really easy to make websites, and it's really easy to maintain websites. And I encourage you, if you're not a web developer, if you don't have any type of website building background, that I don't want to kill business for web developers. There are definitely people who have businesses who absolutely need web developers. But if your business doesn't necessarily need a web developer, go with a website, a web page, a website hosting company that's going to make it easy for you to make updates and changes to your website, so that you don't necessarily have to worry about having a whole separate person for that. Now, if you're managing a store, you're doing e-commerce, and you're trying to sell, your store sells over 20 something products, right? And it's not all affiliate links and everything else. You really might want to have a web developer on call at all times, because time of a website going down is you losing money. Because if somebody comes to your website and they can't make an order, they can't finish doing what they're trying to do, that's money walking out the door for you. But that's after what I do. As a marketer, I'm trying to get you to the website. I want you to be in a funnel that leads you to the website. I'm trying to get people who are interested in, let's say the company is shoes, and you sell shoes, and you have over 20 different types of shoes you sell. Well, I want to make sure that the messaging and the branding and everything else that goes into displaying that shoe to the public before they even get to your website is correct. Now, once they get to your website, some of the things they've already seen that I may have done are there. That's where they live, some of the things. But overall, marketing gets you to the website to end up continuing that funnel down to the purchase point, the call to action to say, I'm going to buy this product, or I'm going to subscribe to this service, or I'm going to request a service. Having a web developer and a marketer as needed is the best way to go about it. If you look at any big business, they're not going to have a web developer that is the marketer. That's just not how it works. They have disciplines. Anything that you say, I'm multitasking to do something, if you don't have focus on one thing, that one thing it has to wait until you come back to it, right? You don't have to say, I know multitasking is a thing that people, they have pride in saying that they're a multitasker, but realistically, it's not good. Because imagine if there was a such thing, and this is an extreme example. What if the career field was called an emergency responder, right? And the emergency responder was responsible for making arrests, doing investigations, treating patients, transporting the patient, and also putting out fires. There's a reason why there's EMS, fire, and police. They do 3 different things. They're all needed things, sometimes all at the same time. But you don't want to have one person that's responsible for doing all of them, because you can't. It just won't work. So, if you are a small business and you have a boutique, a really small, brand new business that does not require having either a marketer or a web developer, I recommend that you get a website that has marketing capabilities baked into it. But it's something that you can manage yourself. The reason why I say that, you can then bring these people in if you need them. You can bring a web developer in if you need them. You can bring a marketer in when you need them, and they'll be able to operate. But most of all, you can operate your own stuff. Huge. Because if you can't do it yourself at all, it's going to fail. Failing is good to learn, but it's not good for your money. I'm Shaka. This is Lifted Marketing Management. Come see me again.